Okay, I think we are good to go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session. I'm so thrilled. We are so thrilled to see all of you here. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a very unique session, something that we've been working towards, and I'm very excited to hear more from our experts at Clarkson University. The session tonight is about what can I expect in an online graduate program. And traditional Zoom sessions, with universities talk a lot about our programs and, what you can expect in a program from a admission standpoint. But what we really wanted to do is tell the story about online education and what Clarkson University's approach to online education is from multiple different perspectives. So this evening, I will be introducing not only faculty, but primarily, the presenters tonight are those that help us construct online education. They're the ones that live and breathe behind all of the courses that you take in our programs. So if you are considering an online program, considering a graduate program in business, whether it's an online MBA or healthcare MBA or an MS in supply chain, tonight's goal is to introduce you to what you can expect, but not could expect, but what you should expect. So as you're thinking about other types of programs, you're thinking about different mediums for online, maybe you're a little bit leery or have reservations about taking online courses, we're hoping that tonight will provide you with the tools, introduce you to things you can be aware of and thinking about and knowing that you should expect in a program to really help you. So I'm going to introduce everyone, and then I'm going to turn this over, and then at the end, I'll come back and share a few thoughts, and then I'll help moderate questions. But so anyway, so tonight, I'm Josh Lefebvre. I'm the Director of Graduate Business Programs for the Ray School of Business. Our team supports all of the graduate programs from awareness to graduation, and we are just thrilled to be able to share some of the behind the scenes work of what you can learn about tonight for online. So at the end, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's just great to be here with you all tonight. Joining me tonight is Laura Perry, Director of Academic Technology and Support for Clarkson University. With her is Aaron Blobelt, a Managing Instructional Designer for our faculty and for all of our learning management system work. And I'm also joined by Carl Strum, who is our participating faculty in Operations and Information Systems. So we are all excited to talk with you this evening. We are recording this, so we'll send you the link to the video afterwards. So hopefully you'll learn a lot. You can go back and check on this or share with others who you think would find this interesting. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Laura and Aaron to take it over from here, and I'll see you at the end of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. I'm going to kick this off and just say that we're so excited to speak with you this evening because it gives us a chance to peel back the curtain a little bit on the qualities of a program you should come to expect as a student. As you're evaluating options, we hope you are looking for a program that delivers on those qualities that are important to you. Program design and delivery should be intentionally based on the needs of its learners. So tonight we invite you to come along as we share more about the reasons we do what we do and what that means for your experience as a student in the program. So just a few housekeeping items as we get started here. You'll note we are recording this session and it will be available after the event. So we want to make sure that you have that available to you. And then next, we want to invite you to engage with us during tonight's event. So first off, if you are comfortable turning your webcams on, that's wonderful. We encourage you to do that. If you're not, you'd rather leave them off, that's okay too. We're looking forward to engaging with you as you're comfortable. We do appreciate you muting your mics during the formal presentation, but not to worry. There will be plenty of opportunity for you to ask questions. So the way we're going to invite you to ask questions during the session, should you be thinking of things or you came here tonight with questions in mind, we are going to kick things up a notch using a tool called Slido. So I know that there's chat in Zoom And if there's something in there that you want to share, that's okay. But we would like to invite you to engage with us using Slido. So what you'll need to do is go ahead and open another browser, either on your laptop that you're joining us on, or perhaps you have a smartphone and you want to open up a browser to go to slido.com. I will put that in the chat for everybody so you can see the URL, okay, slido.com. And then the next thing you're going to do is enter, and there's a little blue field towards the top, and you're going to enter that number 067770. And I'm also putting that in the chat here so you can see it. Erin has helped me put that up on the screen so you can see that as well. So a couple ways to join in, either through the number, or should you be using your smartphone device and you want to use the QR code, it'll take you to that same location. So once you're there, you should be able to see a field now that prompts you to type a question. So one of the unique features of Slido, and the reason we wanted to use it tonight, was because that way you can enter a question, you'll see other questions, and you can enter them anonymously or add your name, so wherever you're comfortable there. And once you see other questions coming in from folks that are on the session, you can give an indication to us if that's an important question. So you can go ahead and upvote questions. And so we'll be sure to make sure that we're responding or acknowledging and responding to those questions. I will come back to Slido. So we're going to leave Slido open. Go ahead and type those questions in as we're talking, and then I will revisit that, in the next couple of slides. We'll come back and see if we have any progress there for questions. Okay. All right. The next thing I wanted to make sure you knew about is that we will be awarding one person a $1,000 scholarship to our online graduate program, one of our online graduate programs, should you apply. So that will be an opportunity to win. That opportunity will be coming up later at the end of our session. So be sure to stay tuned. We have a fun, interactive planned for you on that, and something to look forward to. All right. So that's just a little teaser there as we get started. So go ahead to the next slide, Erin. All right. Wonderful. So now we're going to give you another challenge. Okay. So we've got Slido going. You're thinking about the game. And before we jump into the formal part of our presentation, we would like to invite you to engage in this slide by ringing in your answer to this question. And the way you're going to ring in the answer to this question is you're going to use the annotation tool in Zoom. So if you haven't used it before, you're not familiar, no worries. As you're looking at your Zoom screen, all the way at the top, there should be an option called View Options, or a little menu item that says View Options. You're going to drop that View Options down and select Annotate. Okay, the Annotate menu should pop up for you on your screen. And we'd like you to go ahead and check the stamp tool. So pick any one of those stamps there. So let me just type that in real quick. So View Options, Annotate, and then you should have click on Annotate and the stamp tool. All right. All right, very good. So now that hopefully you found the annotation tool, and we'd like you to consider the question, what should instructors consider about you when designing your courses? And so we've given you some options there. We'd like you to consider those as options or choices for answers. But we would like to encourage you to say it's not the only, so you can more than one. So there's no right or wrong. And we encourage you to choose as many as you identify with there. So go ahead and ring in your answers, and you're welcome to answer as many times as you'd like. Okay, awesome. A couple answers coming in now. I'll wait. Thank you for participating. Very good. Oh, this is fun. Yeah, so it looks like it's all over the board, right? So as you're considering your learning options, Yep, we have folks ringing in on all 4 of the answers, which is excellent, right? So as we approach learning environments, we're looking for choices. We're bringing with us experiences, either as undergrad students or as professionals or both, right? We have that to bring to the learning environment. Lots of times we want to get in and get our hands dirty, solving problems, actually working through problems. And then, it's always handy to walk away with something that you're going to be able to use in our day-to-day work. So certainly those are the sorts of things that we think about and talk about. We're going to come back to that in just a little bit. Thank you everybody for participating. That was wonderful. Sets us up for an awesome conversation, and we'll get moving to the next slide. All right. Oh, I got it now. Awesome. Thank you so much. So it is important to take a holistic approach to the design of any successful program. This means that we consider the varied needs of our learners and design program elements to meet those needs. Andragogy drives the learner experiences. Since we are talking about graduate study, we know we're serving adult learners. Andragogy is the theory behind instructional methods targeted specifically to meet adult learning needs. Andragogy is the adult version of pedagogy with considerations that are specific to the adult learner. When we're talking about connections and engagement, some of those considerations stem from the need for connections and engagement. We know that part of the value in the experience as a student is derived from the connections and engagement with others throughout the student experience. There are specific strategies that can be used to encourage and elevate the potential for connections and engagement. Program structure speaks to the policies and processes that are in place as the student progresses in their program of study. By recognizing the personal, professional, and aspirational demands students manage, program structure can allow for flexibility, accessibility, and efficiency, elements that are critical for today's mature adult modern learner. Learner supports and services. To ensure success, a program must be equipped to support learners inside and outside of the classroom. We know that career connections, access to information, as well as services for mental health and financial well-being is very much a part of the overall successful individual. We'll talk more about that in a bit later in the session, but let's first drill down into a few of indicators you might look for in an institutional's framework for delivering online graduate learning opportunities. Yeah, so the first on the list of items that demonstrate a commitment to quality online learning is for an institution's online learning experience to be shaped by instructional design. Instructional design is the profession that applies principles from the science of learning to the design of course experiences. In a moment, you'll hear more from Erin as she drills into the instructional design resources and the role they play in what you should come to experience as a student. Next, you should be looking for faculty with experience and skill for teaching online. Professional development, training, mentoring, and support from instructional designers and peers is key to strong performance there. Next, an organization's commitment to quality online education is evident in the institutional memberships and quality programs it aligns with. Quality Matters is an international organization which offers a rubric for organizations to measure the quality of course design around the world. This provides a model for others to follow. And then finally, students need access to online technology and tools in order to access the learning that is being made available to them. Having a commitment to equipping students with the technology they need must be evident in the overall experience. So next, I will turn it over to Erin Blauvelt, Managing Instructional Designer at Clarkson University, to talk more about the role of the instructional design team and how they help shape the online learning experience. while you get started, I'm going to slide over to Slido to see how we're doing with our questions over there. If you haven't yet entered a question, please go ahead. If you we'll be checking on that. Also, remember, we still have our prize challenge coming up at the end of the session. So I don't see any questions in there yet. I'm interested to see, if folks are on right now and they can just enter a question so I know that it's available and it's working, that would be wonderful also. All right. So go ahead, Erin, take it away.
Yep. Thanks, Laura. And here is a reminder of that code in Slido, slido.com. If you have joined us late, go to slido.com and enter 067770. And Laura has posted that information in the chat as well. So let's talk about the online education expertise that Clarkson University has. When you are looking for a program that is designed online, you want to make sure that you're going to an institution that has an instructional design team. As Laura mentioned, instructional design is the field of online learning, basically. And the instructional design team at Clarkson does a lot. Mainly these 5 items that we have on here. We do professional development for faculty and staff. Laura had mentioned earlier that it's important that you have online instructors that have taught online before and that have had some formal training in that. So that's something that we offer, guidance to our instructors and formal professional development training. As an example of that, last summer, shortly after the pandemic started, we trained several hundred of our faculty members to teach online because many had never had any formal training in that, besides those who normally taught online. So we underwent that initiative, trained a good number of instructors on that, so that just our university as a whole has that expertise now. We provide individual support to faculty members. Daily, I have questions coming in through email, phone calls, requests for meetings, things like that, from faculty members. Some of it's, hey, I'm just starting my online development program. Can you help me? I don't know where to start. All the way up to, hey, I've been using this one tool for years and now I want to switch over to this tool. Can you help me with it? Can you help me test it out? Or I don't know how to do this, or I really want to do something fun in an activity. Can you help me design that sort of thing? So a lot of what we do is working individually one-on-one with faculty. Faculty know that they have that support system from us. We do structured course development. So anytime a brand new online course is developed, we like to work directly with the faculty member and go through a course development process that's tried and tested. And it involves things like analyzing who your learner is, analyzing you taking the class, analyzing the tasks. What are the tasks that the student needs to learn in this course? What do they need to be able to do by the end of this course? Develop things, evaluate learning, things like that. So there's a very structured course development process that we do with that based on best practices and methodology in instructional design. We foster continuous improvement in our online programs, meaning that we don't like to see a course left alone after it's initially developed. We want to see continuous improvement because things change. Technology changes all of the time. Content in your course changes. So we should be continually improving what we're doing. We also do tool procurement. We have a centralized information technology department, which our instructional designers are in. And any tool that the institution adopts, we test out. We make sure that it integrates with our learning management system. We make sure that students know how to use it, faculty know how to use it, make sure that everybody's trained on it. And we look for the best tools that are out there. So in a nutshell, that's sort of what we do day to day. And we hope through all of that we make the courses, the online courses, more consistent, better organized, and that they're highly engaging. Those are like the 3 things that we really try to make sure that our online courses have in order for them to be of very high quality. So talking about the learner experience and the role of instructional design in your courses, we know that there's a big difference between taking an online class online, taking a class online versus taking a class in person. There's a big difference. We don't want someone to take an in-person class and just slap it up online. It's probably not going to be very good. It's not going to be very engaging because that course was designed for an in-person audience. So there are different methods that we use to develop online courses that differ and that make them special and that take advantage of the tools that we have available in an online learning environment. Secondly, when it comes to the learner experience, coming back to what Laura had said about andragogy being basically the study of adult learners, undergraduate learners are very different from graduate learners. Undergraduate or traditional aged college students in like the 18 to 20 range learn differently than adult learners. And by adult learners, I mean like post-baccalaureate degrees. There are different qualities in adult learners. They look for different things. They thrive with different things. They have different lifestyles than those traditional learners. So when we build our online courses and programs, we take that into consideration. And that drives a lot of the decisions that we make, the way that we set up our courses and programs, and the things that we can take advantage of. Adult learners have very different characteristics and skills than our traditional age students. So those are things that we are aware of and we like to take advantage of. So coming back to the little activity that we did at the start, where we asked you to put stamps on what you wanted your instructors to basically know about you before they develop their courses. These 4 items are all, they're all characteristics of adult learners, basically. So I hope that you saw sort of where you fit into each of those 4 categories, but adult learners are self-directed. They want choices in what they're going to be learning. They want to have some say in specific things that they want to focus on. They want to have some say in the way that they're assessed. They don't necessarily just want to be given a directive of, we need you to write a paper to show that you've learned this. They want to come up with how they can show they best know the information. They are experienced. Adult learners bring a different level of experience than undergrad learners do. Many of our graduate students are working full-time, working part-time. They bring that experience in to their learning. They've already completed their bachelor's degree, so they have a bulk of information. They have a bulk of knowledge already about this subject. Adult learners want problem-based learning. They enjoy solving problems, not just reading about them. So it's another very important thing that we encourage instructors to make sure that they're putting in their courses, are problem-based learning and being very interactive with the content that they're teaching. Adult learners want direct application of what they're learning. They want to be able to immediately use what they're learning. They want to go to work tomorrow and use what they learned today. So each of these 4 items are things that we keep in mind when our instructional design team works with faculty to develop pieces of courses. One of the great things about adult learners is that they come to the table, they come to the classroom with experience. They come with more life experience. They come with experience in their jobs. So we like to use that to our advantage to foster connections between the learners. There are 3 types of learner interaction. The first is the learner interacting in the course with the content. All online courses have that. You're always going to be doing readings, you're going to be watching videos, things like that. Anywhere, learner to content interaction is present. The second is learner to instructor interaction. Well, as long as you have a professor or a faculty member teaching your course, you're going to have some connection with them because they're going to be grading things. They're going to be posting announcements. That's in virtually every online course out there. Learner to learner interaction isn't in every online course out there. It's in many, but it's not in every course. This is something that we particularly want to take advantage of because of that experience that you bring to the table. We want you to share the experiences with each other. That makes a much more holistic learning experience. So when you're looking for a program, make sure that learner to learner interaction is present and that you will be working with others. A great example of this is to look for courses that have graded discussion. So when instructors realize that that discussion between their peers is important, they will assign a grade to it. So when you look at your syllabus at the beginning of the course, is graded discussion, is class participation graded? That means the instructor is going to be having you discuss things and going to be having you work together and deems that as a very important thing. So in thinking about some of the activities that you might be doing in an online program at Clarkson, I just want you to take a few seconds and think about, would you rather, so you're taking an online course, would you rather write a reactionary paper to a scenario or write a mock email to a supervisor reacting to the scenario? So when we think about that, I'm guessing that most of you would rather have the situation on the right, writing a mock email to a supervisor reacting to the scenario. This is a much more interesting activity to do than just writing a paper. And how many of us actually write papers in our day-to-day job? I'm guessing not many. I haven't written a paper in many years, thankfully. But in a situation like this is an actual activity from one of our graduate courses. Students are given a scenario, but instead of writing a proposal or writing a paper, they actually have to write an email to a supervisor. The supervisor is the instructor. The instructor grades this. But this is something you might have to do at work the next day, is write an email to somebody. So that's much more of a real life learning experience. Would you rather read a case study that's 10 years old? Or would you rather read a professional discussion forum on issues currently happening in the industry? I'm guessing that most of you would rather see what's going on right now. Not to say that case studies from the past aren't important. They certainly are. But we also want you to be looking at what's going on right now, because things change so quickly, especially in some of the fields that we have. And so our last would you rather do a statistical analysis on data from a spreadsheet given to you? So like an Excel spreadsheet with all the data already on it. Or would you rather make your own statistical analysis study based on a yummy treat that you can eat afterwards? And so that was kind of, a loaded question with the yummy treat.
You're really stacking the deck now, Erin.
I know, right? So this example is actually an activity that we asked some graduate students to do in a statistics course. And instead of just giving them data and asking them to do something with it, we give them a bag of M&Ms. Well, it's an online course. Students go out and buy their own bag of M&Ms. But there's lots of different types of M&Ms. There's peanut M&Ms, there's pretzel M&Ms, there's regular M&Ms. So they dump the bag out and they start counting and they start seeing the different variables in different kinds of M&Ms. They take all the data and they do some analysis. But I don't know, to me, that's much more exciting, and then I can eat it afterwards. So much more fun, much more hands-on, and something that we can all relate to rather than just a bunch of numbers given to you. So with that, I am going to turn the next few minutes over to our faculty member, Carl Strang, who is going to build on some of those examples that I already gave you and talk about authentic assessment, which is assessing students in authentic means, assessing them in ways that they will, things that they'll encounter in their actual jobs. So go ahead, Carl. Thank you.
Thanks, Erin. I hope that some of these examples reflect on the concepts that Erin spoke about before, because as an adult learner myself, I prefer to be engaged actively in the pursuit of learning and not just the attainment of learning, right? So, so as we talk about one of the course projects that we do in our business information systems course, it's called an iterative decision point research project. I know that we don't have time tonight to go into the details that are associated with that, but here's what happens in week 2. In week 2, you're challenged to identify a problem in your organization, one for which a technological innovation or solution could be useful. And then you go through an iterative process that brings you through and actually tasks you with the responsibility of talking your way up through the leadership chain in your organization, reaching out and learning to make connections as a leader, as a collaborator, as a problem solver. And the goal behind that is to give people who don't otherwise have that opportunity, who have spent much of their career as individual contributors, the opportunity to see what it's like to be working on a problem that's very real and very relevant to them every day. And I think that probably one of the things that students enjoy the most about it is that it results in not only a collection of documentation, but also a very highly polished presentation that's no more than 8 minutes in length that can be delivered to an executive in the organization, that's designed to give you a yes or no decision about whether you're going to get a chance to move ahead with the project or not, make it actionable for them. So we talked a lot about that in the organization, a lot about that in our organizations, because as individual contributors, we often feel that showing the detail to which we have already analyzed this problem is what executives are interested in, and they are not. They are interested in problems that can be solved, and they want choices that they can make. So all of the associated research is there. I serve with them, and when they have challenges and understanding more, we have one-on-one conferences. They work together in small groups, and this is something, if you haven't done it before, almost no consultant goes in and provides a slide deck and a presentation for the first time when it's expected to be delivered to everyone. It's very commonly the case that people work through these processes and talk to their peers and others in the organization about how they may be affected by the choices that they're talking about this organization making moving forward. So at the same time, they're building allies. They're building allies who have the opportunity to question them. And so that by the time the presentation comes forward, these same people who have already been involved in it are also the ones, along with myself, who are evaluating them. Out of the 19 students that just completed the course, 17 of them were able to choose projects and able to present on those projects back in the workplace by the time the course was over. I wanted to talk about just sort of another sort of generalized approach about this, and Erin touched on it a bit when she talked about learner to learner. Leaders evidence a set of behaviors. They lead an educated, collaborative lifestyle. They work with their peers in that way. And so this isn't just about the attainment of a degree. It's about a way of going about the business of leadership and doing it as a lifelong set of skills that you'll continue to develop. One of the nice things about having Erin and Laura around is that they can help us continue to evolve the tools that we have and make sure we're using the tools that work best for us in terms of giving students the opportunity to really excel. She had mentioned before about, posting with each other as opposed to just posting information and expecting the instructor to read it. In one of the forms, in one of the platforms we use, a minimum of 75 or more article postings occur over the course of a quarter. None of them are more than 6 months old. All of them are opportunities for peers to reply to each other. And very seldom do I jump in on that peer discussion. I've told them early on, this is a set of attitudes and behaviors I expect for you to be able to do independently as time goes on. The world of information evolves. You'll go into this world as an educated person with these sets of behaviors, and I want you to practice them here. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of what some of us are doing and the level of support that we get throughout the organization for trying to give you an experience that's meaningful for you and helps you practice the leadership skills we expect you to use.
Thanks so much, Carl. Who wants to take his class now? Sounds like a lot of fun. No. It's one of the fun things about being an instructional designer is that I get to poke into all of these classes, and I often find myself reading these cases and reading these articles because I find them interesting. So
It's fun stuff.
it is fun stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
it's lifelong learning. Okay, so from here, I am going to turn things over for a few minutes to Josh to talk more about the program as a whole.
Great. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoy listening to this session. And yes, I think I might actually try to take Carl's course, although I don't know, it'll be a project I'm implementing that could affect all of us. So who knows? But thank you so much. Very, very insightful. And I hope that whether you're here live with us tonight or if you're watching the recording of this, that you can take away some of the tools, some of the ideas, some of the philosophies and methodologies. But I think the biggest message tonight is the commitment that Clarkson University has had for online education. I think if there's any silver lining, if we had to pick some with COVID, is the idea that online education is not only here to stay, but it's something that we can do of the same caliber and quality as in-person brick and mortar instruction. So that's just something I want to kind of throw in there. But one of the questions I often get asked, and this goes along with what we should expect, what you should expect of us and in an online program, is I always pick the three adjectives that really describe our approach to this the best. The first is flexible. So you can enroll in any of the 4 quarters a year. The program is designed to fit around your personal and professional life. It is not designed so that it requires you to make compromises, right? I mean, we all make some compromises. We prioritize things differently. We figure out a way to make it work because that's our goals. But the flexibility of this program allows you to be able to fit it around your life instead of making so many compromises about your own personal and professional life just because the program is set up in the way that it is. I think that the way that we approach it is flexible. The idea of taking one course to multiple courses in a quarter, or taking quarters off, or switching things up, really is at the core of how we like to approach this. Because again, it's not just about how that we're setting the courses up for the adult learner, but we also understand and respect the situations or the circumstances that you find yourself in, trying to balance everything out. We actually have a video coming out that Carl had done about student characteristics and how we understand, you are learning while you're also a part of an organization, you're part of raising a family, and you need to be able to balance all of these different things. So that's something that we truly do believe in and pride ourselves in. The accessibility piece, really what this has to do is, a lot of programs don't seem accessible, just because of their admissions requirements, or the fact, again, of how can someone who's working a 40 to 60 hour a week job, has a family, has all these other commitments, how is it accessible to them? Because a lot of times the classes are during the day, or maybe they are online, but there's different types of requirements in play. I like to use the word accessible because the admissions requirements and the curriculum acknowledges the experienced professional. So whether it comes to waiving different requirements because of your work experience, that is something that we've put in place. We feel that someone that's been out in the professional setting working for a certain amount of time definitely demonstrates the fortitude and the ability to enter into a graduate program. The curriculum acknowledges the working professional because we acknowledge the way that we approach our classes, the authentic learning assignments, all of those different aspects of the curriculum design in the classes, but also what we offer and how we offer it really acknowledges the needs of the working professional so that they can apply the things they're learning immediately in their positions. And then efficient, I think with the pace of life that we often experience with personal, professional, we want a high quality program. We want one that has recognition and reputation, but we also don't want to be doing it for 6 years. We want something that we can get in, get it done, and apply that to our professional lives as quickly as we can. So when I say efficient, we're talking about the fact that you have 4 different quarters a year. So you're taking quarter classes all year long. It's very succinct curriculum. When I think about programs like our online MBA, it's 10 core courses, the same core courses as a residential program, and 4 electives, and that's it. Same thing with our healthcare MBA. It's very succinct in terms of its focus in the healthcare curriculum. Its focus in preparing those that would like to have that business acumen applied to a very specific industry. All of that is part of that efficiency. But for many of our programs, just a few classes more or a few credits more than our residential program. So flexible, accessible, and efficient really describe our commitment to providing you with a high quality program that does not burden or cause you to have to really go out of your way or change so much about everything else going on in your life. You have those goals for a graduate degree, and that's important to have those goals, but it's also important to be able to do that in a reasonable way. And that's something that we have continuously reinvent ourselves for in order to reach out to those that really want it, but they also have a lot of other things to balance. I guess the next slide. So I think, one of the things that is really important, and as technology makes it easier and easier, is the shift of, online programs. One of the benefits of that is the flexibility. And when I say the flexibility, a lot of the work is done asynchronously. So asynchronously meaning done on your own time. There are deadlines, but it might work for you to do it at 3 a.m, or it might work for you to do it at 8 p.m, and you have that flexibility to do all of that. One of the things that we've learned, especially for the students in our program, that the live interaction, the live class is important to them. So too is the opportunity to engage with their classmates outside of just a virtual team where they're working on a case study or seeing them 1 hour a week live in class. And so we are committed to providing those opportunities as our program continues to grow, as the technology makes it easier and easier. Our team is committed to finding ways to build platforms and build opportunities for you to engage outside of class. So we're working through building an online community and using technologies that are used in classes to provide you with that, so that you can build your professional network. You can talk to others that are in the similar line of work as you are, because people are coming into the program at so many different times. You may or may never have an interaction with somebody that might be working in a sister company or the same industry, maybe on the other side of the country. So it's an opportunity for you to build your network outside of just the classes that you're taking through our online community. So when we say connections beyond the course, our commitment is to your entire experience, not just the coursework in your program. So we are moving forward with, and will obviously continue to build, but an online community where you can connect in real time or asynchronously with those that are in your program throughout the duration of that time. Because you never know if that networking could lead to another position opportunity or a professional network that can benefit you for years to come. And that's one of the benefits of the strong Clarkson alumni network, is that connectivity. So we want to get that started as soon as possible. So that's one of the things that we're working through right now, and we look forward to continuing to grow and integrate into your experience in our online programs.
Terrific. So before we jump forward, I want to take a minute because we have some questions that have come in, and I want to make sure we have time for those. So fantastic questions in here. I'm going to start at the top, and I think Josh, you're going to be able to help us with most of these. So the first question that I'm seeing is, what type of incentives are there for graduate students, such as scholarships and tuition funding? And there's 2 thumbs up on that one. So
I'm guessing thumbs up means please answer this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So the one of the things that has been a commitment of the Ray School of Business for a long time is that we apply our admissions policies as well as our merit scholarships consistently across all programs. So what that means is that we do offer merit scholarships for all graduate programs, regardless of mode or modality in terms of how they complete the program. So at the time of admission, all candidates are evaluated for merit-based scholarships. And those scholarships are, again, based on everything that you bring to the table as far as your work experiences, your academic experiences. A lot of our methodologies, if you will, are based on academics, but work experiences. Maybe you have academic experiences beyond just your grades, your GPA. So maybe you published papers, presented, did other things above and beyond. From a work experience perspective, if you've held various positions, maybe some leadership opportunities, some other great contributions to your organization that you can share through your application. All of those things are a part of how we evaluate for merit award. And those merit awards, they range. It's all on our website, the information, and I can certainly go into detail with regards to that. But they all range from 15% to 75% tuition discount. That's just the merit award piece. Then we also have a series of alumni donor funded scholarships. We have a lot of alumni that are committed to the future success of students in our programs. So we do award those are application based as well, or those are application based, excuse me. So those are opportunities that does relate to the funding question. So very much so, you are evaluated in the same way as our residential programs for tuition funding. Let's see.
Terrific. Yeah, so next couple questions. I think maybe Aaron can help us with this. How can I expect instructors, how will they communicate with me? And you want to address that, Aaron?
Sure, yes. During a class, there are multiple ways that your instructors will communicate with you. Of course, everybody gets everybody's email address, so there's that contact information. Your instructor will have your email address. You will have your instructor's email address. So certainly that's a way to for you both to communicate with each other. Many instructors use an announcements tool, which is in our learning management system. Every instructor has it in every class. And once an instructor posts an announcement, you can access that announcement through the course, but you also will automatically get a copy of that sent to your email. So for those of you that might check your email more often than you check into the course, you will see those communications. There's a messaging tool in your course as well that you can use if you want your messaging to stay in your course as opposed to using email. Some instructors may have a preference, but everybody does have that, and instructors are expected to check that regularly. And lastly, instructors communicate through the discussion forums that we have in our courses, whether that is one that's focused specifically on a topic that you're covering, or whether that's just an open questions and answers forum where you can openly post questions. Sometimes your classmates will respond, sometimes your instructors will respond. So I would say that those are the main forms of communication, but through certainly any synchronous meetings, all of our instructors have a Zoom account. So many instructors are holding office hours this way, which is very much more friendly to our online students who can't just pop in to somebody's office. So many are using this now. So you will have the opportunity to connect one-on-one with your instructor if you need to do that as well.
All right, terrific. Excellent. So next question, what GPA qualifies students for acceptance? Josh, you want to help us out with that one? What GPA qualifies students for acceptance?
So, I mean, the very basic answer to this is that we, in general, like to see about a 3.0 or higher for acceptance. Now, you'll see online that the merit scholarship the anchor points will indicate higher awards. But what I would tell you is that, everyone will receive some form of aid as far as the merit scholarship. But from an admissions perspective, we do like to see a 3.0 or higher. Now, that said, I just want to caution everyone who might be here is that we look at the overall merits of an application. So, if somebody had a 2.8 GPA from 15 years ago, well, that holds a lot less weight than someone just graduating with a 2.8. And the reason I say that is work experience, life experience, all adds up and it all contributes to the quality and strength of your application. So the overall strength is the most important thing, but if I had to give you a number, 3.0 or higher is typically what we like to see.
All right, terrific. Okay, this one's back to kind of course design. How many students are typically in each class? I don't know if Carol too, you might want to address that, like how many students you typically see in your class, and we can talk about the range there.
Yeah, the student numbers vary, anywhere from 15 to some 25 or so. Occasionally in our healthcare management classes, particularly in those over the summer, the numbers may occasionally exceed 30. I think they're very manageable for the most part, and students have a great opportunity to communicate with their instructors throughout the course as well as their classmates.
Fantastic.
I would just add that that's something we're very mindful of as far as our perspective. Typically, the enrollment cap for online courses is 20. Sometimes it does go higher than that, but we definitely want to keep the online engagement aspect, the live engagement aspect, at a very manageable number for faculty and students because of the quality of the conversations that can be had. Where you might have larger numbers in the learning management system, the live sections will typically be much smaller.
Okay. And finally, at this point, I see a question in here. What are the main differences between the healthcare data analytics program and the healthcare management program? And Josh, are you able to address that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think a lot of students wind up, doing a little bit of both, or depending on the type of work or type of career goals they have. The healthcare management program, it is an MBA. So if you think about the core tenets of an MBA, business acumen, teaching the different disciplines of business, understanding the strategic perspectives of those, and how to make decisions using and understanding all of the different impacts that different disciplines of business make. So the healthcare management MBA, it is an MBA where all of the courses are applied to the healthcare industry. There are some differences for sure in some of the curriculum, such as, managerial epidemiology is a very unique to this program. But if you think about an MBA program having, operations or, supply chain management, the healthcare MBA has healthcare operations. Instead of managerial economics in an MBA, you'll have healthcare economics in the MBA, healthcare MBA. So that's really the core of what you would see as far as the healthcare MBA program. Now, the data analytics program is very focused. It's a specialized master's that focuses on understanding the use of technology and data to make strategic decisions for the future of a business. And I don't know, Carl, if you have things you wanted to add here, but we also have, if you think about, we have a data analytics program that's not healthcare specific, but really what it's about is building infrastructure to be able to not only collect data, compute data, and make decisions with data using technology to run those very complex types of operations that help a healthcare company, a hospital, make decisions. What is our inpatient data, say about how fast or slow we're getting patients in or out. What are some of the times of treatments and all of these different things that we can collect data on, because it can help us improve the efficiency of our operations, which is ultimately improving the bottom line. So I think the biggest thing is that the healthcare data, that course is very focused on healthcare data and using data to make decisions, whereas the MBA is a broader, more business MBA landscape as far as the curriculum and its application to specific careers.
Yeah, I would just add on to that, that we've been doing some work recently with trying to do a little more crossover, so that we have the opportunity for people to get a little more experience in that regard. The healthcare data analytics program is not a business administration program. It's a highly specialized field that includes data science, and that includes it specific to the discipline of healthcare. and the depth with which, as he stated earlier, Josh stated earlier, that you're going to be expected to perform with a high level of expertise, some very deep operations using very specialized software would not have application in a business master's. However, we are doing some little cross-pollination there. I teach a health informatics course, and as part of that course, we're starting to work with health data a bit and doing that in ways so that people can understand that managers will, through the democratization of data, have more data on their desktop and need to be able to do at least some fundamental level of manipulation with it. But I may have just been a professor saying the same thing that just got said. I'm not sure. So.
No, thank you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that added depth. Thank you very much. Okay, we have just a few minutes. Actually, we're getting right to the end. So Josh, I know you had a few things you wanted to talk about with support systems, and then we have our game. So you want to go ahead to that slide, Erin? There you go. And just kind of wrap things up with our support systems, which is part of our overall package. And then we can get to our game.
Sure, and I'll be very succinct here. So we've already talked about professional network.
Sorry.
That's really succinct.
I'm not trying to rush you.
That's all I get. I'm done.
Clicking finger.
So the professional network we've already sort of talked about, but I think a lot of questions that we often get is, well, what resources or services are available to online students who may never set foot on the Clarkson campus? And I think it's really critical to just highlight these briefly. So the libraries today in a college setting is predominantly online. You don't see a lot of stacks of books left in many colleges because we are, in the 21st century, everything is available at our fingertips, the online journals, online articles, books, you name it, that access is available to all students regardless of what their enrollment type is. In fact, many students, if you were on our main campus, you would see there is a small section that still has some stacks, but most of what is our library is an opportunity for collaboration and research using technologies online. Our career planning office has, incredible amount of services available for online students. We have a full-time staff member at our CRC campus near Albany, New York, and Schenectady. That primarily works with our quarter-based online graduate programs. So he is accessible, through technologies, through Zoom, and our online community that we're building will include a section from career planning, but also our career planning office, everything that they do, all of the opportunities to engage with employers is on Handshake. And Handshake is one of the leading software solutions for job posting boards, hosting virtual events, all of those different things as a part of that. And then health and wellness, our graduate school has developed a series of different services for our online students, ranging from obviously orientation and things like that, but we also have access to online health support for health, for mental health, for wellness, for having conversations. You as a student, you don't necessarily going to drive to campus to go to the counseling center, for instance, but there is telehealth. There are so many different opportunities to ensure that you as a student, you as a person are as best as you can be. And so we have all of these services available to our students, regardless of what program you're in. And one of the things we've learned over the past 2 years is that telehealth is effective. Telehealth works. And that is something that we are committed to for our students, not only for health and wellness, but all of, being at your best for health and wellness is being at your best in your class, being at your best for the program, being at your best for your family and friends and work. So we really approach the entire student experience when it comes to our online programs. And that includes more than just going through the courses, but really shaping your experiences at Clarkson University by building your network, helping you prepare for your career, building a career plan for your career search, and ensuring you have everything that you need to be successful. And that's really what we talk about with support systems, is that we're not just an online asynchronous, come in, get your degree, but we want you to be successful holistically. And I think that differentiated experience is something that we also it's a continual thing that we are working and striving forward for all of our students. So back to you.
Okay, so are we ready?
We're ready.
We're ready to do our game. So thanks everybody for hanging in there. We're just over the hour. So we have a quick game for you that will help identify a winner, although I am looking forward to this. So let's go ahead and get that started, Erin. We'll have to do some instructions as well, right? We'll have another website that we need you to go to and then enter a code. Let me get that. Yeah. So yes.
So we're going to be going to nearpod.com, and you can do this in your browser or on your mobile device. So nearpod.com, and when you go to that site, you will see a red box that will say students. And what you're going to do is you're going to enter the code that you see here, 765 p.m. in to join our game.
Okay. So we're gonna have everybody join in, right, Erin? That's on.
Yes, I mean, I know the
participants.
answers, so I'm not going to play, but anybody is welcome to play. I believe Clarkson folks are not eligible to win, but anybody else out there who does not currently work for the university is eligible to win.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
so Nearpod, 7:65 p.m. and I am going to jump my screen over here, and it will tell me when we have some players. So
I'm not going to compete, but I'm going to join just to watch it.
Yes.
I think you should.
Please
This is
do.
a really
Yeah.
fun program, actually.
I am as well, so you'll see me in there, but I'll just play for fun.
Ooh, we have a player. Yay. It worked. I'm glad to see that it worked.
Oh yeah, I have to, yep.
So we have a Martian turtle or an astronaut turtle.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and we have a penguin. I played this at a conference last month, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So
I'm gonna cut out because I'm feeling a little under the weather, but thank you guys. This was awesome. Still.
Sure. Thanks, Nick.
See you later.
Bye, Nick.
Okay, are we waiting for anybody else to join?
Yeah, one more. I hope all of our
Two.
participants.
Two players. See if we can get one more.